It was a big week for Lady Vols,
It was. It
and it
was.
started off with a rivalry game against Alabama.
Top 20 ranked Alabama. And this was a good game. This was a solid game. Very fun to watch. A little bit back and forth. But, I mean, for the most part, Lady Vols kind of did their thing. Very high scoring. But Talasia Cooper and Jewel Spear, man, Jewel Spear's been playing some good ball here lately. But overall, it's a big win. I believe you did this in Alabama, or was this a home game? This was a home game.
Yeah, this is a home game.
But to be able to beat the Tide top 20 ranked team at the time, they'll probably fall in this week's rankings thanks to the Lady Vols. But overall, man, shot it well. 47% field goal percentage. You were almost 40% from three, 8 of 21. I think one of the better free throw percentage games of the season for the Lady Vols at 88.9. But overall, just the rebounds, I think, stood out to me more than anything. The second chance opportunities that the Lady Vols had in this game, they really dominated the boards and took it to Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, you stated the two things that stood out to me. The free throw numbers going 16 of 18. That is definitely their highest percentage of the season. And then out rebounding Alabama 44 to 30. That was just a big key in this game to they were down to start the first, I
They
believe.
were. They only scored 17 in the first. Slow starts here lately.
Yeah,
Well,
22 to 17 at the end of the first, but then outscoring Alabama 25 to 15 and 23 to 14 in the second and third quarters, respectively. Alabama did outscore you 29 to 23 in the fourth, but at that point, Tennessee had built a big enough lead that it was just too much for Alabama to come back from. But you mentioned the second chance points. I've got the stat here. Tennessee 17 second chance points compared to Alabama's 9. So you would have liked to have seen when you out rebound Alabama as much as you did, to have a few more second chance points than that, but still you
sure.
basically doubled them up on the second chance points, which I mean you can't complain about that anytime that happens.
Yeah, I mean, so Alabama, man, you got to tip their cap. I mean, they came in, played really good ball. I think right here, just the lack of depth kind of hurt them. Fun fact, individual Carly Weathers, I think is her name.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. Fun fact is a sibling of one Ryan Weathers who played at Loretto and went straight to the MLB. Which
Mhm.
not the show. I think he's still maybe Double A or something. I don't
No,
follow his career.
he's in the show.
He is Padres, right?
No, he's actually with the Marlins now.
Marlins now.
Miami
Okay, so
Marlins.
off-season move then. Yeah, right on. So that's pretty cool. My dad was like, "Hey, Weather's sister's playing for Alabama," and I was like, "Wait, what? No way!" So that was pretty cool to see her out there
Hey,
doing her
you want
thing.
to know an even crazier stat?
Yeah, what's up?
They have a cousin that is in the running for Miss Basketball at Loretta.
No kidding, man. What
Yeah.
a family! What a family! Athletic family. David, I think would be proud. I
Yeah,
think he
for sure.
is. So, but no, I thought that was pretty cool, and she didn't have a bad ball game. Look, the starters for Alabama kind of did their thing. Every single one of them in double digits.
Yep.
I think what got him here, and it really doesn't really show too well because if you look at quarter by quarter, I mean, Alabama technically had a better fourth quarter, but I just feel like the depth is what hurt Alabama in this situation, being able to go hard for all four quarters, where the Lady Vols just had a couple really big quarters where they didn't score a lot, obviously 25, 23, 23 in the final three quarters, but they were able to play good defense there in the middle too. In the second and third quarter, they held Alabama to 15 and 14 points respectfully. So Matt says, "Hey, Daddy Allen." Oh, yes, sir. Go
Appreciate it, Matt.
Vols, baby. Go Vols. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Matt, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, man, dad for the second week now. So how's that
That's
going?
right. Hey, it's going good, man. It's going
you
really good.
look alive, which is crazy. I mean,
He's actually sleeping really well. We're having to almost wake him up to be able to feed him. So,
that's beautiful.
fingers crossed that it stays that way. That he keeps sleeping well. But, a big stat here. You mentioned the starters, all of them scored in double figures for Alabama. The bench points. Tennessee 25 bench points compared to Alabama 5.
Yep.
That's a huge stat there. Every single person that touched the floor for Tennessee in this game scored at least one basket, except Julian Hollingshed, and she really, I mean, she was a difference maker out there. It just didn't show up in the stat sheet. I mean, she only had one field goal attempt that she missed, one rebound, 2 assists. She did have 3 fouls, so got into a little bit of foul trouble, 2 turnovers on the night. But you had Alyssa Latham coming off the bench with 7, Tess Darby with 9. Kanaya Boyd, who has really shown up as of late.
Oh yeah.
She has
True
6
freshman.
points. Yeah, and Sarah Puckett with 3 off the bench. To go along with, I mean, the usual suspects. Talisha Cooper with 16, Z Spearman with 13, Samara Spencer with 9, Ruby Whitehorn with 5, a little bit of a down night for her.
Yep.
And then Jewel Spear, you mentioned it already, with 20 on the night. And it's good to see Jewel Spear coming around. 11 of 11 from the free throw line for Jewel Spear.
Yeah. A good night. I kind of like the Lady Vols team because I do feel like as of late, it's kind of been a different person doing all the scoring for the Lady Vols. I mean, one night's Ruby Whitehorn, one night's Talisha Cooper, the next night's Jewel Spear. I kind of like that. You're not having to rely on that same person to have a big game every single game. Kind of like I feel like the men's is kind of that way. You know, if Chaz Lanier doesn't have that big night, watch out. We don't know if we're going to be winning or not. We're going to be fighting for our life. But overall, man, the Lady Vols, they shared the rock. Really, really good game. Showed Alabama whose balls kind of took over there in the third quarter. It kind of felt like it was going to get away from Alabama, but you got to credit Alabama for coming out punching hard in the fourth. I would like to see our defense kind of step up a little bit better there, but overall, man, I was super proud of the ladies getting it done. It was a big game considering the stretch that we had to finish out the season. This had a lot to do with the swing of if it was going to be a good finish of the year or not so great of a finish. So this was a massive win for the Lady Vols.
Yeah, this was great, and it's always good to beat Alabama as well
Always.
on a Tennessee Thursday night.
That's
As
right.
they was playing Dixieland Delight after that game. But any other thoughts on this Lady Vols versus Alabama game?
Yeah, I mean this was big, not just for the aspect of Alabama was a top 20 team, but also for the standings in the SEC. So, to be honest with you, Lady Vols are 20-6, I think, but they're dang near not even getting a bye in the SEC tournament. That's how strong the ladies are in the SEC right now. So, this game, Alabama was ahead of you by a couple of games. Here, you got a game closer, so you were able to make up a whole game in just one game against the lady, the Crimson Tide. And so, for the standings purposes, now I don't think a top 4 seed. I think the double bye in the SEC tournament is going to be a bit of a stretch here, but I think they can at least get higher seed in the first bye, which is going to be clutch and key when it gets down to if you can make it to the weekend of the